Have you ever asked yourself why we love watching highly professional people, especially athletes, performing at the top of their game? We love watching Michael Jordan, we love watching Steph Curry, we love watching Bukayo Saka playing football. We love watching high performers. In fact, even in any other niche, we are mesmerized by high performers, people in the height of their glory. In business, we're mesmerized by Elon Musk and Steve Jobs and Bill Gates and this Amazon guy. We're mesmerized by guys who are pushing things. We're mesmerized by Les Brown in the speaking industry. We're mesmerized by Barack Obama with this authentic speaking ability. We love to see life in the fullness of its glory. And what I'm discussing in these episodes is the possibility and the availability of our own personal glory and how we can be able to start looking at our own selves to the degree that we have personal glory that we need to deploy and we need to exemplify. Stay tuned.
Welcome to the Life Signatures podcast with Lawrence Namale. Lawrence is a life coach, author, and keynote speaker who loves to tackle different topics on purpose, productivity, and resilience. His mission in life is to awaken all your boundless possibilities available in you. Life Signatures podcast is dedicated to bring to reality every single person who knows that deep down in their gut, there's got to be more to life than this. And now, here is your host, Lawrence Namale.
A curious scripture tells us that the earth is groaning, imagine that the earth is groaning and waiting for the manifestations of the children of God. Now, if you believe in that scripture, or maybe if you believe in spirituality, you will know for a fact that the children of God are not some few guys in some special continent somewhere, tucked away in some special continent somewhere. That the children of God are every single person born of a woman. And the scriptures are telling us that the earth is groaning, waiting for the manifestation of the children of God. The point is that we are all God's kids. But the question is, are we manifesting our glory, our personal glory? There is no way you're going to convince me that God put you and I on the face of the earth to averagely just make it and just to exist, just to be normal and ordinary. There's gotta be something bigger than that. And the thing with this personal glory is its uniqueness. That all of us in our unique way. That's why I mentioned some guys. I talked about Barack Obama, I talked about Steph Curry, I talked about all these multi-billion-dollar people, I talked about Steve Jobs and Elon Musk and so on, and Jeff Bezos and Mark Zuckerberg and all these guys you talk about. Why am I quoting these people? Because of their personal glory. One way or another, we don't identify them with everything. We identify them with their uniqueness, their unique approach to life, exemplifying their own personal glory. And I do believe with all of my spirit, with all of my heart, that at any one point in time, every one of us is demanded of this life our own personal glory. When the world is waiting and groaning for the manifestation of the sons of God, what the world is waiting for is our own personal glories. And our own personal glories is the manifestation of who we are, having been sent on the face of the earth to not only show our glory, but to make this world a better place and to impact and to contribute and to change and to create and to make marvel, to take people's breath away, not because we want to be seen, but because that is what we were sent to do in the first place. The earth is groaning and waiting for the manifestation of the sons of God. Therefore, you and I, we've got to start thinking continuously about our personal glory. And we've been seeing in the previous episodes, 2 episodes so far, we saw that you've got a demand of yourself. There's got to be a challenge, because you will not exemplify your personal glory without challenging yourself. And I told you some stories about some guys that are in my circles, and they just challenge me because of the way they challenge themselves, and they challenge themselves from the cove of desire. No one is going to have personal glory without desire. Desire becomes the beginning spark, the starting point of any personal glory. It is desire. Let me tell you this, potential is available for all of us. Every one of us has potential. There is no human being without potential. It is available for all of us. But the thing that brings this potential to start being burnt and to start lighting up, it is desire. Incessant desire. In fact, the degree of the desire in people's hearts is the differentiating factor. All of us have potential, but the desire to exemplify that potential is what makes the difference. And that desire is going to cause us to go through leaps and bounds. It's going to cause us to jump some hurdles. It's going to cause us to look at impossibilities and smile at them and just find a way through those impossibilities, and just make sure that the desire keeps alive and we are moving. Like the man who wanted to go to Kampala on a bus, former child soldier. It was desire, and that desire being followed up now just giving birth to something. This desire causes you to challenge yourself, to make a demand of yourself. It is one thing for these people in the world to start wanting and expecting of you to do some stuff. It is yet another thing for you to make a demand of yourself, knowing full well that there is something that you aspire for. There is something within your heart and within your spirit that you really want to mark, to make sure that it comes to pass. So you make a demand of yourself, you challenge yourself. And we said yesterday that even as you push yourself, even as you go after these things, you realize one thing, that the demand you're making of yourself is not to acquire stuff. Acquiring of stuff is not sinful. It is not bad. It is just that it's not going to give you your personal glory. This world doesn't need you to acquire stuff. Acquiring stuff should be a byproduct of your personal glory coming to the fore. And so if you go after acquiring stuff, personal glory, no one is going to fault you for that. Nobody. I'll never forget the story I read in the newspapers when I was a small boy back in Kenya, in the village, a place called Kakamega. I will never forget this. I read of a tourist, I think an American tourist, who had amassed millions of dollars, I think, in his life. He was a business person and so on. One thing I will never forget about it is that he was being interviewed by journalists in Kenya, and he said he vowed, he looked at Africa as a country, a whole country basically, that just wants to be given, and he vowed that he is never going to spend a single cent on any African. I'll never forget. I've forgotten the man's name. That's exactly what I'm talking about. You can forget the man's name because he's focused on himself. So we realize that your personal glory is coming to the fore because you're not focusing on yourself. You're actually focusing on shining your light on other people. For the things that you've been blessed with, maybe the resources you have, maybe the brain you have, maybe the heart you have, the life you've been given, you focus on enabling other people's lives become better. And so you live above just the survival and just the making sure that you harness things around yourself, and you start looking at other people. I've been compiling stories of some doctors in Uganda, and I'm seeing their personal glory. Some of them in heart surgery, some of them in diabetes, some of them in children and pediatrics, and some of them in cancer and so on. It is their personal glory because it's making a blessing. Forget about the profession. I'm not talking about professions here. I'm talking about the glory of an individual making life better. That's why all of us are not doctors. But you see, in our own respective selves, in our own respective niches, we can have our personal glory comes to the fore. The question that I need you to answer is this: what is my personal glory? Because if you don't ask yourself that question, there's not going to be an answer coming to it. What is my personal glory? And it's easy to find out your personal glory is. It is very easy. It is in your heart. You know it. It might be weird to the next person. It even might be weird to your teachers, might be weird to your parents, might be weird to your friends. But that's where your glory is. It's in your heart. God put it inside there. Miles Monroe says that God put your purpose inside of your heart because you can never miss it. He put it in there so that we cannot never miss it. And the problem with us is that we're looking for personal glory elsewhere, outside of ourselves. We go for green cards. Nothing wrong with green cards, by the way. Absolutely nothing wrong. Some of us might, by the way, can be able to thrive in a country like America than we can thrive in somewhere else. But that's not the point. My point is that there is our glory wired inside of us. It is not outside of us in another country or another region. That's not the primary reason for us existing, to run away from where we've been planted. We're supposed to bloom where we've been planted and have our personal glory come to the fore. So we challenge ourselves, demand of ourselves, but number two, we make sure that we are looking at making a difference in other people's lives. But then number three today, I want us to discuss this thing. That the thing that makes your personal glory is the question of your greatness. The thing that makes your greatness come to fore is not just pushing yourself, not just posting your personal best. And by the way, your personal best, let me just camp there for a minute. Your personal best is one of the things that is going to make you to show off your personal glory, because your personal glory is not an instant like this. It is a process. It takes time. It takes quite a bit of time for your personal glory to come to the fore. And that time, it's Lincoln, I think, or either Lincoln or Churchill who said it's not about the amount of years in our lives. It's the amount of life in our years that counts. Therefore, your personal best on a daily basis, you're asking yourself, was that my personal best? Was that my absolute best in the thing that I was doing? I see people, you've been given an opportunity to sing, for example. Sing and make your personal best. You've been given an opportunity to podcast. Is that your personal best? Can you do better than that on a daily basis? And we run away from mediocrity. That's how our personal glory starts coming to the fore. We're building it brick by brick, and we're building one concept upon another concept, one precept upon another precept, one glory upon. In fact, the Bible calls it from glory to glory. Glory is not an instant that is fixed. Glory is an ever-increasing revelation. It's an ever-increasing reality of our better selves. But every single day counts. That's why point number 3 is that it's consistency. The consistency through which you apply yourself in life, that is what delivers your personal glory. You cannot push yourself for one day and then you forget about it. You know what we normally do on the New Year's Eve? We set resolutions, and that's the last time we do. The next time we're going to set a resolution is the next New Year. That doesn't cut it. It's not going to bring our personal glory to the fore. It's got to be something that is on a daily or maybe on an occasional basis. That even on a weekly basis, you are reviewing your personal goals. You're reviewing your personal ambition. You're reviewing your personal desires. And you're reviewing the wishes and the dreams and the works and the body of work that you're building over and over again. That's consistency, and the key with consistency is the interval of time has got to be small. The interval of time between your inspired actions has got to be small as possible. The smallest unit you can get in terms of the interval of time for your consistency, that will be the best thing you can be able to do for yourself. And that's where your personal glory starts shining. That's why, by the way, there's a difference between very many people in the same niche. Maybe some people even with bigger brains than us, they are dull because of the consistency. There's a big difference between their inspired actions. But those ones who are just even average, for the lack of a better word, those ones who are just even average in terms of their capacity, the difference that they bring on the face of the earth with their personal glory is not in the capacity that they have been given in the brain. It is in the consistency with which they deploy whatever little thing that they have in their minds and in their heart and in their lives. That is what makes their star shine brighter. That's what makes their personal glory to be even greater than any other person's. And I am not competing. I'm not talking about competition. I am talking about gathering and looking at the star that's shining brighter according to the capacity and the potential and the expectation that the divine has put inside of us. You cannot push yourself today and then the rest of the whole week you expect to gravitate to greatness. It's got to be on a daily basis. You have to be smack in the middle of your assignment every single week, every single working day. You're doing something about. That's why this podcast is daily, friends. You know, some people told me off. They said, you're giving just too much on a daily basis. This podcast is not for you alone. Primarily, this podcast is for me. It builds me up. It builds me up. It increases my capacity, and that's why I've got to do it daily. If you feel like it's too much for you on a daily basis, that's fine. You are a consumer, and I understand that. But I am a producer. A producer cannot be doing it once a month. A producer's got to be on the cutting edge of productivity on a daily basis. That's why it's daily. So consistency. If you wanted your personal glory, my friend, to shine, consistency is a must. It is a must that you've got to be consistent with what you're doing. Tomorrow I'm going to add on to this some other aspect of your personal glory. Today, if you only took consistency and you ran with it, I tell you, it will be suffice. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Life Signatures Radio. If you enjoyed today's show, subscribe to Life Signatures Radio on iTunes, Stitcher, or visit our website at lifesignatures.libsyn.com. Life Signatures Radio, fresh, clean, and inspiring.